Because yesterday was the first day that the number of total vaccinations is more than the total number of cases since this all began last year. And that number should only grow and keep cases and hospitalizations down. And since we first took you on the ground to Louisiana and followed some of the very first doses ever delivered back in December, the rollout has really ramped up with a record average of 1.4 million shots per day being given, and it's probably actually more than that, which means we could have 100 million shots in arms by early to mid-March. And that doesn't even take into account a new J&J and or AstraZeneca vaccine that gets rolled out. So let's check back in to where this all began and bring in Paul Dickson, Jr., Vice President of Operations at Morris & Dickson, the 180-year-old family-run company and one of the largest drug distributors in America, who graciously allowed us in to watch them work in the very early days of this. Paul, look forward to getting back to Shreveport, but we appreciate you joining us like this nonetheless. It's been a few months now. What have we learned, and what do we still have to learn?
Well, a lot of the confusion has died down once figuring out what administration sites can handle it, how much they can handle, and a lot of that's become a whole lot smoother. Last night, it ran very smoothly. 18,000 doses roughly came in and left same day in less than 12 hours. So that's how it should run.
How can we speed up the process?
Ramp up supply. The demand is greater than the supply right now, and the distribution network is not a bottleneck. We are getting out every vaccine that is needed same day. So breaking down the confusion and making sure we know exactly what sites need what and exactly when is how we can speed it up.
Part of the conversation, yeah, that's it. So I want to focus on that, Paul, because you and I have talked about it. I've spoken about it with others down in Florida and other states. And what they say, and what maybe many people in America forget, and who can blame them, is we vaccinate 175 million people every year. We get a flu vaccine. We don't even think about it. We go to our local pharmacy, get the shot, and go home. It's not a big thing. The bottleneck is really because we are creating, rightly so, by the way, prioritization groups. CVS today said pretty soon they're going to start vaccinating. Once we hit that normal supply chain, the work that you and your team do every single day, how much faster do you think we can go, assuming the supplies are there?
It's fast as the supply comes. The distribution of pharmaceuticals happens every day, 30,000 different items, vaccines alike, like the flu, and it's never going to hold up. Every pharmacy in America has what they need in less than 12 hours. So getting the vaccine distributed through the wholesale supply chain of pharmaceuticals is not a bottleneck at all. So we can move as fast as the supply comes to us.
And we're showing that video of when we were there, which is still, sort of gets me every time, as your team working those vials out of the -70 into the coolers and following, Ray down the road to Lake Charles. When we get, I assume, the J&J vaccine that does not necessarily require these ultra cold temperatures, how much more will a normal temperature, a normal vaccine, also help speed it up and not rely on those big Thermo Fisher freezers you're standing in front of, Paul?
So that's not one of the big bottlenecks. I think the big bottleneck is just determining which sites can handle how much vaccine. And part of that is making sure the patients are available and making sure they have the people available to administer. So the cold nature of the product, the cold chain, is really not the hurdle for the distribution side of it. We handle this type of stuff every day. Refrigerated or frozen product is not a problem for the normal distribution supply chain.